Well, one factor that led to the horrible devastation in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina was the failure of the levee system. HJ Bosworth Jr. with levees.org joins us today to explain better what went wrong with the hurricane protection system and what improvements have been made now 20 years later. Good morning, HJ.
Good morning, Shelby.
Good to see you. So tell us what happened 20 years ago, because there is a whole generation now who was not alive for Hurricane Katrina. And while many of us, it's hard to look back today, I think it's important for these generations coming up to know why things are different.
Yeah, 20 years ago we had a hurricane protection system, which consisted of two basic components. You have a structural component with piles underneath it, or you have a soil supported component that's either a levee or a little bitty eye wall on top of a levee.
Okay.
The soil supported structures did not do too well. There was
just too much force of water?
There was a lot of force, but there were a lot of unknowns underneath these levees. Levees are built over the years. Like the levee along the 17th Street Canal was originally constructed as a railroad embankment.
Oh,
okay. So a railroad company bought some property, dug out what is now known as the 17th Street Canal, built an embankment, put a railroad on top of it, and used it for the World's Fair back in 1885.
Huh.
Over the years, it looked like a levee. They used it as a levee. They thought it was a good levee. Unfortunately, underneath it was some very, very soft soils. They put this embankment right on top of an old bayou with some very gooey soil underneath, and
it just hadn't been tested with the force of a storm surge like Katrina until then?
It had not, and the canal got modified some years before Katrina in order to get rid of the rainwater that falls into the city. The canal was deepened right next to a sort of a sketchy design that the Corps used to heighten the wall, but maybe not the best engineering. Didn't work too well at all, no.
Right, so I mean, we all know what happened after that, right? The levees broke there on the 17th Street Canal.
There and in another 51 places.
Right, and so
on the screen you can see
there were places that had over 10 feet of water that stood in the city for days, even weeks.
It was bad, yes.
Very bad. Why won't that happen again today? Can we be confident that it wouldn't happen again today?
I am pretty confident that nothing like that is going to happen ever again.
Okay.
What a storm does is it tests the structure that surrounds you. The structure's made of concrete on nice deep pilings. It's probably going to survive just fine. If a flood control structure is nothing but dirt, well, as
maybe
we knew 20 years ago, they didn't happen. They didn't hold up too well.
So now do we have concrete in our levees?
We have lots and lots of concrete at the perimeter. We no longer have storm surge that'll be coming up the 17th Street Canal, the Orleans Canal, the London Avenue Canal. The storm surge will all be stopped at the lake, at the PCCP pump stations that were built. To the east of us at Lake Bourne, we have the Lake Bourne surge barrier, the George Bush surge barrier that cost millions of dollars to build. In fact, there it is on the screen right now.
And those things stop it from putting those pressures on the levee, but even those levees have been built up differently to be more structurally sound.
Yeah, not necessarily the interior levees, but definitely the perimeter levees.
Gotcha.
And the structures on top of, like the levee that ran along the Gulf Intercoastal Waterway and the Mr. Go, which is no longer in business.
Right.
That got strengthened. It's much, much, much higher than it was before. It's got a big concrete supported, pile supported T-wall on top. So
we've made some changes.
A lot of changes. Billions and billions of dollars of changes.
Billions of dollars in changes to protect our city here 20 years later. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We could talk forever about this, but I really appreciate your insight this morning.